Welcome back, my friends, to the Gormon Productions Wrestling Podcast. Today is a special episode, going to focus on all you bad guys out there, and the big question that has been plaguing the WWE Universe for a decade or more: could John Cena ever turn heel? I've certainly read a million articles from various people over the years about the good ways to do it, the bad ways to do it, the missed opportunities to do it, and ultimately it has never happened. And probably for good reasons. But I want to have some fun with this, primarily because at the end of SummerSlam, John Cena did something interesting where he was making out with his armband. I give him props for letting Styles go over. I think that's a good indication that we're going to see him take the title away from Ambrose here at Backlash. But there's rumors running around that Cena is taking some time off. So does that mean he's on vacation? Does it mean he has an injury? Or is it going to be doing a TV show? Regardless of why Cena is taking some time off, this may be a good opportunity if they ever wanted to pursue a heel run for Cena. I'm going to count down at least my 5 top possible scenarios and then kind of transform into probable scenarios as to how Cena could pull this off and what makes the most sense. All right, come along with me and let's count it down. Number 5, going corporate. This is the easiest way to do a heel turn. Rock did it, Stone Cold did it, Rollins did it, although some more successfully than others. I don't know that this makes the most sense for Cena, especially right now. We don't have the authority around anymore. Stephanie would be the only heel, technically, that we have left of people who are in charge, even though she's really doing a babyface turn here most recently. But if you paired it with, say, Shane McMahon, and you had Cena and Shane kind of against Daniel Bryan, it would definitely put Daniel Bryan over and put any babyface a little bit more over on the card. And then you have kind of an interesting power struggle where Cena's kind of in charge, or he's kind of that chosen one of Shane McMahon. Do I think it's the most realistic? No, that's why it's at number 5. All right, number 4, there is strength in numbers. Doing a Hollywood kind of approach to this with the NWO back in the late 90s. Here's the interesting thing about this. Do I think Cena is the kind of guy who could lead a group? Yes. Do I think we have the kind of guys on the roster who could be in a group? Oddly enough, no. It's interesting. We really don't have any factions anymore. New Day is the only group that's actually still together, and I don't consider a babyface group like a really big group, like a faction or a stable necessarily. You had the Bullet Club, or excuse me, the Club, and they're split up, and you've got the Wyatts, and they're split up. So we really don't have a strong heel group in the company. Do I think that Cena could lead that group? Yes. But do I think we have enough individuals who could make up a group? Probably not. So that's why we're going to keep that way back here at number 4. All right, going into number 3. Going barbershop. We're talking about betraying a good friend. This is the hard part, especially with the brand split, is that I don't know that Cena has somebody close enough to him to consider a best friend that he could betray. Arguably, Cena's one of the most popular babyfaces on either brand. The other two would be Rollins and Balor over on Raw. I don't count Roman in that necessarily right now. And I know Rollins is actually a heel technically, but you got to keep it over on the SmackDown side. And so that would leave someone like either Dolph Ziggler or Dean Ambrose, which maybe that's why it's at number 3. Maybe that's why we're getting a little bit closer to probable. Because say, hypothetically, Dean Ambrose comes out on top at Backlash, keeps the title for a couple more months, and then Cena rushes out at one of his next pay-per-views, betrays him, costs him the title. You get Ambrose over a little bit more, and then you have a nice storyline run with Cena versus Ambrose until one of them ends up with the title again. Again, though, I don't think this is necessarily the best way to do it because you do have Cena coming up here on Ty and Ric Flair for that championship, and you wouldn't want to do it as a heel. All right, number 2, getting into the realm of reality, turning on the fans. For years, Cena has had to put up with the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant, and he never once has complained about it. So maybe now is the time for him to come back and have a little bit more of a problem with it. And he could rock the mic on betraying those fans, getting in their faces, it very much kind of the same style that The Rock would do or that Seth Rollins is currently doing. And at least storyline-wise, this would hit home the closest and would make the most sense. So definitely up towards the realm of probability. All right, everybody. Here's my number 1 most probable way of getting Cena to go heel, the infamous double turn. Hasn't been done since WrestleMania 13 with Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, at least not within the same match. And arguably that was the most famous double turn that we've ever seen. We're still talking about it today, so I'm going to go ahead and give that one the crown. But let's say that you've got AJ Styles taking that championship against Ambrose, and he goes on a nice heel run with that title. Cena comes back, challenges him at WrestleMania for that championship. You go in there with Cena as the with Styles as a champion as a heel, Cena coming back as a face, and halfway during that match, you do a double turn. Cena starts getting over as a heel, starts getting much more aggressive in the exact same way that Hart was, or he starts complaining, or he starts getting bitter about things during that match. Styles doesn't have to work very hard to get over with the crowd. He already is. Nobody cares that they label him as a heel. He's over. He's well over. So, if there was ever an opportunity, or 2 guys, or the place to do it, to where you have John Cena turning heel inside of a match, you guys, this is the way to do it. This is the way to make it realistic for Cena to be a heel, and you replicate what we saw with Stone Cold and Bret at WrestleMania 13. I think that Cena and Styles have the clout to pull that off, and I think that the fans would appreciate a very organic heel turn as opposed to John Cena coming out and suddenly tying damsels in distress on the railroad tracks and twiddling his mustache. You know what I mean? I think you make it organic. I think you make it realistic, and I think it would be spectacular. Now, with all of this said, is any of this ever going to happen? Probably not. And why? Because Cena has more than transcended what Hulk Hogan started in the 80s, especially with Make-A-Wish. He can't just turn the guy who broke the record for 500 Make-A-Wishes into a bad guy. I think Cena means so much to the country as a babyface. That sounds weird to say, but it really does. I mean, John Cena has transcended way past wrestling, and he means a lot to a lot of kids, and much so more than Hulk Hogan ever did. And that's not being disrespectful, it's just we live in a different world. If Hulk Hogan had all the opportunities that John Cena had, he probably would have done it, and would have made it much harder for him to go into the NWO. So do I realistically think this is ever going to happen? Probably not. That's just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. Throw me some comments, hit some like buttons if you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear your feedback. And guys, we will come back and I'll talk to you soon about something else.